This is Château de Castelnaud, a medieval fortress built for war, rebellion, and a cross-river stare-down. And that's because across the river from Castelnaud stands the Château de Beynac, its arch-enemy during what was the epic power struggle between the English and the French. Here in Dordogne, these castles were on the opposite sides of the 100 Years' War. So get ready for sieges, switches in loyalty, and trebuchets taller than a house. This is where medieval warfare comes to life. Château de Castelnaud is located in the Dordogne Valley, about 6 hours away from Paris. It was originally constructed in the 12th century as a rebel fortress. It was built by the Catars, a sect of heretics that the Catholic Church wasn't too fond of. You might say its first lord, Bernard de Cazenec, was not exactly a Vatican favorite. It fell to a man named Simon de Montfort to wage battle against the Catars and bring religious order to the region. He stormed the Château de Castelnaud, and the place burned down during the Albigensian Crusade, bringing an end to the Catars. The Château de Castelnaud was now fully under the control of the English crown. And that's because this was Nouvelle Aquitaine, the region ruled by Duchess Eleanor of Aquitaine and later her son, the English King Richard the Lionheart. Simon de Montfort was French, but he also had an English title called the Earl of Leicester. Eleanor of Aquitaine was no ordinary duchess. She was a political force of nature. After her royal marriage to King Louis VII of France was annulled for not giving him a male heir, she quickly turned around and married his rival Henry Plantagenet, King Henry of England, and she gave him 5 sons. More than just the King of England, the Plantagenets were the descendants of William the Conqueror, and so were also the Dukes of Normandy. This meant that huge territories in France were ruled by the English Plantagenets. Château de Castelnaud and its rival across the river, the Château de Beynac, were on opposite sides of the dueling French and English crowns. This was the 100 Years' War, and this fortress castle on the border needed to have a lot of good defenses. During the 100 Years' War, Château de Castelnaud mostly sided with the English, while the French held Château de Beynac. Cue centuries of hostile neighbor energy. They did swap sides during the sieges, but mostly continued their stare-down. The Dordogne River was the border, the English on one side and the French on the other, with flaming boulders being trebucheted back and forth. In 1442, King Charles VII ordered the siege of the castle, then held by the allies of the King of England. After 3 weeks of siege, the castle surrendered for 400 crowns of gold to finally bring it under French control. The 100 Years' War ended 11 years later. Today, Château de Castelnaud is a living, breathing museum of medieval warfare. You'll find full-scale replicas of siege engines, including working trebuchets, mangonels, and battering rams. This thing could fling a 100-kilogram rock over 200 meters. Inside you'll see suits of armor, longbows, crossbows, swords, polearms, cannons, and every device a 14th century lord might use to keep enemies away from his wine cellar. Like many castles, Château de Castelnaud fell into disrepair after the war ended. It was abandoned during the French Revolution and even used as a stone quarry. Then in the 20th century, a local family bought it and started restoring it piece by piece. Today it is privately owned but open to the public and is one of the most visited sites in Dordogne. For more information on how to get to Château de Castelnaud and Nouvelle Aquitaine, there is a link in the description to my website for more details about visiting the chateau. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories from France and beyond. Thanks for watching. À bientôt.